episode 087.
Hi, my name's Julian White. I'm currently a business coach and growth specialist. I specialise in scaling revenue and profit for businesses. And I did complete my MBA about 20 years ago. So that's probably my tertiary studies. And I've had probably over 20, 25 years experience in running and setting up multi-million-dollar businesses. I think success for me, I'm very goal-orientated. I don't have it plastered all over my walls. I'm not obsessed by it, but I do have my goals, and I think that's how I measure my success.
Welcome to Innovator Diaries, a show where influencers and leaders from all walks of life share their story and experiences. You learn the strategies and action points that have helped them find success and get to where they are today. You'll hear their stories and valuable advice to help you on your own path. These messages may also help somebody you know, so please share. Okay, perfect. Julian, look, I'm very excited to talk to you today. Thank you for being with us today. You're going to tell us your story, but just as a highlight, you've done great things here in Australia for business. You, for example, launched Warner Brothers Interactive in Australia. Not only launched it, but you took it from 0 to 48 million in yearly revenue. And you've also launched and worked with some of the most popular electronic companies in the world, like Sega and EA. So it's going to be a great story, I think. And
Sure.
Then not only after you work with those, you launch your own business and you grow it to several $1 million as well. So thank you for your time today.
My pleasure, Ricardo.
So Julian, to start, could you please tell me a little bit about your childhood and who was the most influential person in that stage of your life?
Sure, really good question. My early childhood was just, I grew up in Sydney in what we call the inner western suburbs, and it was the good old days. We literally played cricket in the street and the back lane, loved it. It was about 10 or 12 kids, and we used to do that from sunrise to sunset. For the Australians listening, the international cricket series was starting, so we'd get the cricket ball, tape it up with white tape so we could keep playing into 9 o'clock at night. My family childhood was quite normal and happy, I guess. The most influential figure, I would probably be a bit cliche and say my parents. I learnt a lot from them, especially my father, in just some basic business ethics, things like never burn your bridges at both ends. And just, I grew up in not a business family. He was a senior executive. So I kind of was attracted to business and I enjoyed it. And from a very young age, I think from the age of 12, I started delivering newspapers and pretty much worked all my life since then, and moved into part-time work when I was doing my high school certificate. And I learnt the art of selling. We worked Thursday night and Saturday mornings in department stores, and I quite enjoyed that. So that was my first part of my life, very briefly.
For example, people tend to disregard these initial jobs. What do you think those initial jobs taught you? You were saying something about sales, but what specifically did you take to your professional life?
Good question. I think it taught me the early, tenacity. And it might sound quite silly, but when you rolled up 40 newspapers 3 or 4 afternoons a week and you'd put them in the back of your push bike and it was pouring rain and you had your little headlight on, you had to ride around the streets of Sydney, my area, for 40 minutes in winter, that was pretty tough. I look at kids today and, I don't know if many of them would do that, but it was a job and I turned up every day. And that taught me about, just being there and not letting people down. If you say you're going to do something, do it. Sure, things happen, we understand that, but don't let things happen as an excuse because you're lazy. So I don't think I'm a lazy person, and I'm quite driven. So, I'm probably a bit too competitive at times.
Okay, great. So to continue your story, you went to uni, you graduated, and then what happened? How did you start your profession? Want to listen to the entire interview? Simply go to innovatordiaries.com/episode number. Or you can find this episode and hundreds of other great stories on Google Podcast, iTunes, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast player is. Please check me out on LinkedIn. Follow or connect with me as I'm very proactive on that social network. And finally, subscribe to this YouTube channel. You'll get all the new stories as soon as they're released. See you next time.